thanks everybody for supporting the show and subscribing. Twitch.tv/LSparks. And here we go. There's a lot to dive into today. I get like Donald Trump after a mound of fish delights. I get a little backed up around the holidays. Sorry. There's just too much. There's too much stuff, and we didn't even get to see the Candace Owens Trump interview. And by the way, notice how the dudes that interview him get the shitty empty ballroom, and she gets the windows and the flags and flowers on the table, and there's a lady coming over, so we gotta dress it. We gotta gussy the friggin' place up, right? You must best be coming to Wales then, because I love cake. Excellent. Oh, I love Wales. Well, that's not completely true. I loved a girl from Wales once. It was two ships passing in the night. It was very romantic. Long ago. But yeah. Yeah. So, and it's weird when, he shows up or when she shows up.
I had to beat off.
Oops. Why do I not hear? I should be able to hear that. 1 second. Properties. Monitor and output. Excellent. Let me make sure I can hear this stuff. Hold on. Oh, look at that. What do you know? Jimmy Dore's on Rumble. Just right along. Lefty YouTubers caught being paid propaganda. Oh, that's nice.
It's an honor to interview you.
Oh, okay. So that's not good. I can't hear that. Can you hear that?
It's always been an honor.
I've been that. I can't hear that. Why can't I hear that? Okay. Hold on for just a second. Let's see. What's the do? What's a kid to do today? What's a kid to do today? Hey! Monitor and output. Where's the monitor go? My global settings. Monitoring device. It's a headphones jack somewhere. It's just a simple, I think this is it. Let me make sure I can hear this over here.
Past and today.
Oh, I most certainly can. Wow, that's loud. I'm fine. How are you? Okay, now we're better. I'm sorry. I thought everything was the same after I got back from the holidays, and yet it wasn't. Hi, don't squeeze the thing at the thing. Okay. This is a very nervous Donald Trump we're about to see. I've not watched any of this at all. Even the part where, that got him in trouble. No, I've stayed away from it. So this is it. But for the record, hold on. Let's see. Where's that guy? I disappeared. I will fit a thing. There we go. Hi. Hello, pretty lady. How are you? I'm far too big. Excuse me. I'm gonna hide over here. I'm okay now. That's better. How pretty lady. You're a pretty lady. Hello. Oh boy, this is gonna be exciting. Oh, I can just tell you, my nether regions are all a Twitter. They're tweeting right now. Hashtag boing. All right. Now let's try this. Oh God, help us.
Talk about some topics that are on, I think, everybody's mind.
Okay. Yes. Did you just fart? And why did you give me the seat downwind? We go. What the fuck is that on your head? It looks like cotton candy. Pick a color and stick with it. Secondly, what time does the play start? And are you one of the pilgrims, or do you play a pumpkin this year?
I talked about January 6th. I actually want to talk about January 5th to begin. Allegedly, the story goes that a man dropped off pipe bombs at the DNC.
No. It was not a man. No, you don't get to do that. You don't get a human being, a biped. This is what we know. It could have been a trained gorilla. It might be Marjorie Taylor Greene. I know what you're thinking. Same difference. It's no. It was not a. It was not a man. You don't know who the hell it was. Knock it off.
Our FBI has showed us a couple of stills of those individuals, and they're
those individuals. Oh, now it's two men. Now there's two men. I see. And oh, thanks. I'm glad you think my hair looks awesome. I had no time to do anything with it today. It's just poofy.
Nobody telling us anything beyond it. I live in D.C. There's a camera on every corner.
Yep.
There's a camel on every corner. She said camera, but the audio quality being what it is, maybe there's a camel on every corner. We don't know.
Building, the White House, the most secure buildings possibly in the world. We're seeing Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan start to show that the FBI had some of
What the hell was that? Why did they rotate the camera?
involvement. In January 6th, we're urging supporters to go toward the Capitol building. What is your assessment?
Oh, yeah? Were they? Who was in charge of the government when that happened? Maybe you should ask whoever was president then.
You're watching more and more of this information come out.
Well, I have been watching, and I've been watching it very closely. A lot of people are being treated very unfairly. This should never happen in our country or any country, what happened to them, especially when you look at the way the so-called other side is treated. But
the so-called other side? He means the January 6th folks who are like, if you let me out, I'll spill more blood. Bail denied.
pipe bomber or bomber, who knows if it was a pipe, who knows what it was.
Yeah, it could have been a bong. It could have been the bonger. It could have been a pipe bonger. Who knows? Who knew if it was a... They know it was a fucking pipe. You were president when this shit went down, you dipshit. How do you not know? What are you talking about? What? I fucking hate Rumble because you can't jump back.
The so-called other side is treated. But this pipe bomber or bomber, who knows if it was a pipe, who knows what it was.
Yeah, it could have been anything. Could have been a blintz. It could have been a cannoli. It could have been a chimichanga with a wick. It could have... Who knows? Who knows what it could be? Well, the FBI knows what the fuck it is. And you were still currently president for almost 2 weeks after.
They never found him. I've seen pictures of him and very...
Of them, they, excuse me, an unknown person's pronouns are they, them.
Pictures, and you know...
They're pipe bomb. They're pipe bong.
They do have cameras, not just a camera. They have many cameras on every corner.
Yeah. All right, this is going to take forever.
And I would imagine they probably know who he was, and I guarantee he wasn't one of the people that were at that protest for the right reason. It was a protest. You know, the insurrection was November 3rd, the election day. This...
Yeah, so it was. Voting is an insurrection in this country. It's terrible. The people who wipe their ass on the American flag and shit in the halls of Congress and beat up cops with flagpoles. Yeah, that wasn't an insurrection. That was just a response to the insurrection. It was revenge.
Protest about a rigged election.
Yeah.
And the people that were there was great love in the air.
Oh, yeah, there was great love. I love this flagpole. I love the idea of shoving it up a cop's ass after I've tasered him into unconsciousness. I love trampling my fellow maggots as they overdose on painkillers. I love my MAGA disguise as a member of Antifa. I've been undercover for 5 years, voting for this guy and doing boat parades and threatening people online. And I guess it just got to me after a while.
Talking about the Capitol, I'm talking about the speech. I think it was the largest crowd I've ever spoken before, and I've spoken to very big crowds. And
yeah, they were bussed in by a Supreme Court justice's wife and the head of Talking Points USA.
Some walked down. I think it was intended to be very peaceful.
The walking was, sure, that's what you told them to. Walk down peacefully and patriotically. But if they don't do what you want and they don't do what they're supposed to, then you're going to have to be strong. That's basically like, don't tear up the lawn while you're getting to the Capitol. But once you're at the Capitol, if they don't do what we want, fuck them up. That's the, I mean, it's
Capitol. But why aren't they finding this pipe bomber? And how come other people haven't been revealed? Because I think that we're more.
Yes, why haven't they revealed more pipe bombers?
Just, let's call them MAGA people.
Well, there were FBI informants.
Well,
there's some images,
yeah.
and they said, go.
Yeah, there must be, yeah, they were informants. Why would there be informants in groups that were planning to storm the Capitol that day, that had brought them materials for a fucking gallows? People were showing up with guns and bombs in their trucks. Why would the FBI be infiltrating and keep getting intel on people like that in the biggest gathering on the lawn since Obama's inauguration? Because obviously the crowd was smaller.
Capitol, go to the Capitol, and those individuals were not arrested, and they're on the screen.
Right, it seems like that. And
it does seem like that. I mean, it's not, but it seems like that when you just say it.
You have BLM and you had Antifa people. I have very little doubt about that. And they.
Well, you also have very little doubt that your pants are on forward, and we know that you've made that mistake before.
Antagonizing, and they were agitating.
Yes, they were giving people Indian burns, and they were wedgies. It was terrible.
You don't see any of that. But look at it even from a simpler form. In Portland, what happened to these people? They burned down the city. They've destroyed the city. Nobody can live there anymore. They don't even.
Yeah, nobody lives in Portland anymore. I don't know if you've seen Portland. It's just gone. Just, yeah, there's nothing there. It's a hollowed out shell. It basically, like if you see the satellite, if you use GPS, Google Maps, if you try to use the satellite feed, it's just a big crater.
Storefronts. They don't even rebuild. You know?
No, they don't. They just, that's the thing about Portland. Once stuff burns down, they just don't even, they don't even rebuild it anymore. No one even bothers. It's just gone. Portland's just gone.
Rebuild now out of plywood.
Yeah, the federal building is now a plywood shack. Wait, run that by me again.
Any of that. But look at it even from a simpler form. In Portland, what happened to these people? They burned down the city. They've destroyed the city. Nobody can live there anymore. They don't even put up storefronts. They don't even rebuild. You know what they rebuild now? Out of plywood. Because they're not going to waste, because every time they put up a store, it gets knocked down. But people...
Yeah, nobody buys glass anymore.
Killed in places. You look at Seattle, you look at in Minnesota, Minneapolis, you take a look at the city.
Yeah, they're all three great American cities completely wiped off the face of the earth. They just don't fucking exist anymore. Is there, please tell me, hold on. I have to beg your pardon. 1 second. Let's see. Live traffic cam Portland. Let's see if there's a, yeah, this was updated December 27th, 2021, 3:21 p.m. It's just fucking gone. There used to be a bunch of buildings. Well, there didn't. But imagine there used to be a bunch of buildings over here. Look at this. Nobody even lives there. Everybody's leaving except these people these people are leaving too. They're just leaving towards the shitty. They don't even call it a city anymore. It's now the shitty. It's this is gone. Look at all the trees. These used to be, they're all evergreens now. These used to be not oak. They're all, everything's gone. Let's see. Hold on. Downtown Seattle live cam. Seattle sky cam, earth cam. Welcome to the, look at this. Oh, here you go. This is going to be terrifying. Look at this. Look at downtown Seattle. It's fucking horrifying. Turn it. Look, You could turn the. Oh, that's Cincinnati. That doesn't exist anymore. Wait, I don't want to look at. I was looking at. What are you doing, city cams? Oh, Alcatraz. It's turned into. It's turned into a city. Hold on. Oh, wait. Let's see. Portland. Please tell me there's a Portland. Department of Transportation. Portland. Sniff Dog Hotel Playroom in Portland. The dog. Look at this. The Sniff Dog Hotel. This is all right. Probably will. Quit it. Look, darts and pool. Where is this? Okay. Oh, this is I like. I was hoping for a doggy webcam. Here it is. Okay. Mm-hmm. Here it goes. Seattle Skycam. Now I'll flip it. Here you go. Oh dear God. Look at it. It's just panorama, 24 hours live cam. This is just Seattle skyline cam. Look at that. The Space Needle's gone. The top's been knocked off. It's been replaced with billboards of other cities. It's just terrifying. Look at that. Look at the. It's gone. There's nothing but fire. Everyone's hiding. Everyone's living in the Space Needle now. There's nothing. There's nothing left. What's this? Can you go that way? What's that? Oh, look at it. Oh, the Space Needle. There's what's left of Seattle. I just want to sing grunge music and say goodbye. Care not for the man who wanders. Straw that broke your back, you're under. Now you know that none are blind. I'm still alive here. I don't want to look at Cincinnati. What the fuck are you doing to me? Get back. San Francisco. I wanna get back to my city by the bay. Whoa, whoa. It's all gone. It's all gone. I mean, that's video from last year. It's all gone. They're all dead. Is Katharine Hepburn hair? Excuse me. That's Alice in Chains. Sing some Stone Temple. Time to take her home. Her dizzy head is conscience laden. Time to break her. All right, I'm gonna get a copyright flag because I sound dead on. All right, here we go.
Send in the National Guard. You wouldn't have a Minneapolis right now.
Nope. Oh, I didn't. We didn't look for Minneapolis. Hold on. It's pronounced Minneapolis. I hope someone. Hold on. Minneapolis. Downtown Minneapolis. Search. Oh. Look at this. It's hideous. The horror. The horror. Hold on. There's the. All right. There has to be. Hold on. I need to find footage. I need to know that Minneapolis still exists. It's. Don't you understand? Hold on. Minneapolis. Downtown. Cam. Webcams of Minneapolis. Here we go. Yep, it's all gone. This is during daytime. Look at this. It's just hideous. It's all gone. Look at that. Wait, hold on. Scoot over. What are you doing? Stupid page. What is this terribleness? Herp. Minneapolis downtown Rivers condominium windy. There we go. Oh, there we go. This is the play. Here's 24 hours. Played 23 hours ago. Show me some daytime. 16. It's all nighttime all the time now. There's no. There it is. Oh, it's all gone. Look at it. It's all been wiped out. They packed it up. It's now all. Minneapolis is now turning into an IKEA. It's completely gone. It's just set. Look, it's Minneapolis used to exist, and now it's pea-colored. Oh, look at this. It's covered in snow. This is hideous. What sad times are these? Oh, look at all the buildings. They're gone. It's all churches now. There's nothing left. It's gone. There's no Minneapolis. Everything's gone. Look, you can see, see this? This is all Antifa charging into the city, and this is all BLM coming down we've got a BLM coming down from the north and Antifa coming from the south, creating what we like to mix together, high altitude, what we call snow. One of these big blue things. All right, enough fucking around. So Portland's gone, Seattle's gone, and Minneapolis is gone.
And that's true. There does seem to be this double standard, and especially as I lived in D.C. during this, and I was sort of shocked to see, first off, our city burned for 6 weeks because of George Floyd protests. Nobody ever called that an insurrection. Right.
That's because it wasn't, fucko. They didn't attack the Capitol. They didn't try to overturn our system of government. They didn't try to install the guy who lost an election. Of course, they didn't call it an insurrection. It's funny. I had open heart surgery last week, and nobody called it a birth. What the fuck? Oh my gosh, Chris. Of course, I remember the Detective Van Adder song from the Ice House Annex. I wrote it. That's amazing. What's up, Chris? Holy smokes. Burned for 6 weeks. 6 weeks? Cry me a river, short timer. They didn't call it an insurrection. It's funny. It's funny. I burned some toast the other day, and no one called it a house fire.
Particularly interested in this Department of Justice piece because we then...
I'm sorry, the what?
George Floyd protests. Nobody ever called that an insurrection. Right. But I'm particularly interested in this Department of Justice piece because...
There's an Department of Justice. I don't know if you know it. It's the Department of Justice. It's a 1-bedroom. It's in the DC area. It's super expensive. The Department of Justice, and sadly, because there is no justice. Apparently, there's no justice and no peace because it's on the second floor and the person above is in a band.
I lived in D.C. during this, and I was sort of shocked to see, first off, our city burned for 6 weeks because of George Floyd protests. Nobody...
Six whole fucking weeks. 6. It burned for 6 weeks. Nonstop. Just burned. It burned. I mean, obviously there's still lots of buildings standing, and most of it's just fine, but...
Called that an insurrection.
Yes, the Department of Justice is really a bachelor pad.
But I'm particularly interested in this Department of Justice piece because we then found out also a few months earlier, we were told that MAGA supporters tried to kill Gretchen Whitmer. And actually, BuzzFeed, very left-leaning publication, came out and said, no, actually, this was FBI entrapment. FBI plotted this, they looped in MAGA supporters, and they then said MAGA supporters plotted this. So there's a lot of...
Yeah, that's the thing about MAGA supporters is that if you just say, hey, maybe, what if we kill the governor? They'll go, I guess I gotta do it. I mean, you have to understand, I'm a Trump supporter. I do not have my own functioning brain. Why would I pick up a phone call and go, hey, this dude who just showed up at my house a couple days ago is trying to get me to kidnap and kill the governor? Really? Bullshit. Okay. I guess I'll do it.
Question marks right now, I think, for people involved on both sides of the spectrum. How involved is our Department of Justice in these events that they tell us are acts of domestic terrorism? And in a Trump 2024 scenario, how do you address that?
Yes, and also, when lunatics plan to storm the Capitol, hang Mike Pence, murder Nancy Pelosi and several other members of Congress, and overturn our peaceful transfer of power and hand the government back to Donald Trump, or when they want to kill the governor of Michigan, it would never occur to you that once they were caught and they were in the process of being indicted for those crimes, that they might go, it's entrapment. I'm sure you'll be just as charitable with other criminals who often find themselves in situations where no, just your guys? Weird.
In the United States.
So I watched that a little bit, and
This is how you can tell he just heard what she said, and he's pretending to know all about it.
That's a strange deal going on with the kidnapping of the governor. And it's got some weird answers coming out. So I assume we're going to find out at least something about what happened. Right. You know.
Wow. Just the amount of bullshit. Like, she's talking too fast and he's just like hanging on by his fingernails.
It all started when I said, somebody's spying on my campaign. Do you remember that? I put it out very innocently.
Very innocently, yes. They were spying on my campaign. Well, they were spying on the Russians, and you wouldn't stop fucking calling them.
I actually said, I think that Obama is spying on my campaign. I turned out to.
Yes, yeah, he was sitting there he was sitting in a van, coffee breath, he stinks of BO. They got constipation from sitting on their ass all week. Midnight run, anybody? All right.
Right, that was right. And then we've caught him, and now let's see what
happens. No, you didn't. No, he didn't. No, you didn't.
With all of these people that got caught, whether it's Durham and what happened and what came out of there so far, hopefully that's just very preliminary. But even if you take a look preliminarily, that's a
preliminarily
thing that happened. They made up Russia. It was all a hoax. Think of it. They were after.
She's nodding at him, going, "This lunatic is going to leap on me." Again, where's our body language expert when we need this? Like, here's a dude desperate to try and get this woman on his team. Look at him leaning forward. Look at him, like his diapered ass and his whole like he's ready to snap a football. And she's got her legs crossed, hands on her like a lady, going, "Stay away from me, please. You have a history of grabbing women, and your hands are reaching right at my crotch. Why is it?"
People to put them in jail.
This is more on number one. Put on more on number two on. Jimmy, have a fucking sandwich. Do some fucking thing.
And yet they know they made up a hoax. So they want to put people in jail for a hoax that they made up.
But here's the thing. Our Department of Justice is implicit in all this, right? The FISA warrant. Like, that is...
Complicit. Fucking hell. Complicit. The word is complicit. It's not implicit. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the word is implicit. Perhaps we should go down to the Department of Justice and ask them. Fucking hell. This is what happens when everybody fixates on like the one bullshit statement about him liking the fucking vaccine, and that's what everybody fixates on. God damn it. She's implicitly saying not complicit? I think so. God damn. This is just... I'm implicit. Yeah, you take it back.
Warrant that should have ever been granted. So this is why I'm hitting at this, because we're recognizing now that the corruption that we're talking about, maybe we thought it was surface when you got elected.
Yes, yes, definitely when you got elected, there was a lot of surface corruption. By the time you've been in office for 4 years, the corruption was running deep in the entire country.
Now we're realizing that it runs much deeper.
Deep-seated.
And much...
Yes, the deep state is deep-seated. They have leather bucket seats. And they're deep-stated deep-seaters. Jesus Christ. It's deep-seated. They're just going to try and use use that word. People like that word.
Worse than we ever thought it was. And how do we get the Americans to feel that faith has been restored in these institutions under your leadership?
Well, first of all, one of the ways we're doing it is by him not having leadership over them anymore.
How about the fourth man in the Department of Justice? His wife is working for Fusion GPS, writing bad stuff.
Bad stuff. Hired by the Washington Free Beacon, a Republican newspaper who was initially supporting other candidates and was trying to fuck your candidacy. So they hired Christopher Steele, who had a relationship with Ivanka. Have we settled that? Did they really knock boots? Are we ever going to find out? Kofefe.
Say, what's going on there? There's so different things, and it's very deep. You know, they say deep state. I don't want to call it any specific name because I
don't want to call it. It's deep state. It's deep seated. It's deep. It's deep undercover.
Deep state. They say you're a
conspiracy theorist. Yeah.
Conspiracy theorist, and I say.
Thank you for helping him with that word, Candace. He wasn't going to be able to find it, and it would have taken us all day.
Well, that's a little bit too bad. No, you have many, many things. And this is years and years of people being embedded through different presidents. Clinton,
Bush.
Look, you say some of these people from the Bush administration are almost worse than Democrats. I don't know if you...
Yes, as a matter of fact, I've been saying that for fucking years. Not for the same reason you did. But yeah, I'm going to go straight up. The people the Bush administration put in were worse than the people that Democrats put in. Look at that. We're bonding. Isn't that lovely?
But I think you do.
I do.
Some of them...
Yeah, she does, obviously. Yeah, she definitely prefers people that Clinton put in and Obama put in over people Bush put in. What?
And you least suspect it. So in a way, you don't have...
And you least...
Clinton, Bush. Look, you say some of these people from the Bush administration are almost worse than Democrats. I don't know if you know that, but I think you do.
I do.
Some of them, and you least suspect it. So in a way...
Yeah, you lease suspect it. Perhaps you lease it when you lease the Department of Justice implicitly for the purpose of being complicit with the deep dish pizza. That's what we have to worry about is the deep dish. I'm very concerned about the deep dish.
You don't have your guard up quite as much, but we have...
No, clearly not. I mean, you would if you had any fucking brains at all. You're becoming the president of the United States. One would think there would be entrenched interests both here and abroad. But hey, you can't turn on your own government and suck up to Kim Jong-un at the same time, can you? Oh, wait a second.
We have some real bad people. We also have some very good people, in all fairness. We have some great people that hate...
Name one.
What's going on, and they do things about what's going on. But I will say this. We were cleaning things up, and we were cleaning them up at a rapid pace.
Hey, welcome to our first of many Freudian slips, ladies and gentlemen. He dropped the word racket. Listen to that.
Fairness, we have some great people that hate what's going on, and they do things about what's going on. But I will say this. We were cleaning things up, and we were cleaning them up at a rapid pace.
A racket pace. Fucking A, right you were. Yes, at a racketeering pace. It was, we were Rico Suaveing our way through racketing up. We were racketing everything up. The stock market, we were racketing it up, and we were racketing up the budget, and defense spending, we were shit. At a racket pace. Son of a bitch.
An election took place where we were leading at 10 o'clock in the evening. I thought it was over.
I thought it was over because you're a dumbass. Because we're in the middle of COVID. Most of the voting was done by mail. The majority of votes cast were cast by mail. Why would you think it was over on election night? And so like at 10:30, go to bed. The next morning we woke up. He was tweeting at 2:30. He walked out on stage and went, frankly, we did win at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. But you go to bed at 10 o'clock.
Everyone thought it was over. I got a call from Karl Rove. I'm not a big fan of his.
But he likes me, and he said I was supposed to win, and I was like, oh, I like you now.
He said, congratulations, sir. About 9:30 in the evening. Congratulations.
You don't think he was fucking with you now? In retrospect?
Sir, you've just won. I said, thank you very much, Karl. That's right.
And then he hung up and was like, and he's sitting there, like, cut to Karl Rove sitting in Texas with Bush Jr., with W and Jeb sitting around just, call him up again and tell him he's going to win Arizona.
And then they closed various counting facilities, to put it nicely, right? Where they...
It's very nice. What was, to put it nicely, I would have called them shit shops if I wasn't, pardon my Francais, counting facilities.
You know, you ever hear the expression, sometimes the counter is more important than the candidate, right? And some...
Yeah, that's the expression. You guys remember that expression? I have it tattooed on I have a tramp stamp that says sometimes the counter is more important than the candidate.
It was a lot more important than the candidate, but they closed.
Oh, now I've got to get it amended? Shit. ... But really a lot more.
All of a sudden, you see numbers coming in. They said, that's a strange thing.
Oh, listen, I was there that night, and I remember feeling exactly that way. Went to sleep, said, this election's over, woke up, and some magic happened.
Oh, I see. So you're as fucking stupid as he is. I see. I got you. All right. You're both complete idiots. Even if you thought you had a good chance of winning, we're still a 50-50 country largely. It vacillates. It hasn't been a run of Republicans forever. The last two-term presidents were, it was Democrat, Republican, Democrat. We don't just swap 8-year terms for the fuck of it. The elections actually count. So even if you think you've got a great shot, nobody goes to bed at fucking 10 o'clock like, Betty by Bo's time, and then wakes up in the morning, so how much of a winner am I? Get the fuck out of here. This dude's always like, I never sleep anyway, right? I was up all night.
Some wizardry happened in the middle of the night, and I agree with you on that, and which is why I want to talk about this entire ecosystem of corruption.
By the way, excuse me, you look at Pennsylvania that night, it was like, the lead was impossible. You couldn't.
Well, no, it wasn't, because people were voting by mail. And as a matter of fact, Republican counties were throwing out mail-in ballots because they thought it would chip away at Biden's numbers. And it did. But it also got rid of Republican voters in those same counties that had mailed in their vote. And so it widened the margin even further.
Call Florida.
And all of a sudden, they wouldn't call Florida, and I had a big lead. They wouldn't call Florida. They wouldn't call a lot of different states. And then they called Arizona early. And now you see what's been found in Arizona. The corruption was unbelievable. You look at the...
Well, yeah, I mean, let's be abundantly clear. I think I think it's important that we cover a lot of this stuff. When we're talking about the reality behind this is that obviously Trump paid a lot of money to make it so that Arizona Republicans would steal the election for him, and when they lost anyways, because they didn't steal enough votes, they just went, well, hey, we can prove they were stolen votes, and we'll just pretend they were stolen for Biden, and that'll protect us. And so that's why the Republicans didn't want a full audit. They just wanted to do the count and try to toss it that way. Because if you really start looking at where the votes actually came from, you're going to find a bunch of fake Republican votes. And every time they look for votes that have been stolen, every time they look to try and find stolen votes, they find more votes for Biden that were thrown out and should have been counted. And they find a lot of double votes for Trump. And, but that's, anyways, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding around. I'm kidding around. That didn't happen in Arizona. Everything was fine. I mean, it's a Republican-run state and a Republican legislature, and the elections were Republican-run, and, yeah.
In the report, and other things will come out. It was a... all of my life I said, oh, this is the home of the free. This is great elections, free and fair elections.
And yeah, until you lost, and then you're like, nah, this is all bullshit. America sucks. Fuck America. If I can't own the place, it's a goddamn dump. That's what it is. This is this anti-American horse shit from him just because he's a sore loser.
We learned a couple of things over the last number of years. Number one, the press is among the most dishonest group of people ever, anywhere, no matter what.
Well, yeah, I mean, Forbes for years said you were a billionaire, and we know that's not true.
And number two, we have corrupt elections. And
I'm sorry. And number two. There you go. There's number two.
We've got to straighten out the elections, and you're only going to straighten out the press if you allow people to sue with a meaningful law. So if they write libelous and terrible things, they don't want that to happen. They don't want that because they want to.
Hey, asshole. She'll get sued. See those laws that protect the press from libel for public figures, for example? she'd be broke right now if that wasn't the fact. Like, every reporter is protected by that. The ones you like and the ones you don't. Dum-dum. It's like Section 230.
Way they're doing
New
it.
York Times versus Sullivan should be reversed.
It should be reversed.
Absolutely.
And I think
Absolutely. Yeah. And Andrew Sullivan should be given, sorry.
Thomas is saying, like, I think it should be reversed, or he made a statement to that effect. But if they write something,
Yeah, and it's a dumb idea. And why is the rest of the Supreme Court not going along with him? Oh, because he's a moron. It's a terrible idea.
totally malicious, libelous, whatever you want to call it.
And imagine if you just had to have thick skin and respond in kind with facts to knock down the story, and you just went, it's part of the gig. Like if some fucko calls in while you're on the phone and goes, let's go Brandon, while you're on a Christmas call, and you just go, yeah, I agree, let's go Brandon. And you just move on with your goddamn life instead of running a grudge for weeks and weeks and not delivering PPE to states because they aren't nice enough to you on the fucking phone.
Lawyers will tell you don't bother suing.
1,000 people in the chat room. I missed the 666 already. We usually, when there's 666 people in the chat room, we usually do a super chat around there. Well, I've missed that entirely. I apologize. But Luis, thank you. And Carol, thank you so much. Wonder if he thinks Billy Bush was part of the Bush administration. He probably thinks the Bush administration was removed by waxing. Pliable stats. Thank you so much, Hal. Thanks for helping us get through 20 and 21. My pleasure. Hey, it's what I'm here for. And Vicky, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Stephanie, thank you for becoming a member for 4 months. Yay. And Jill and Say What and Luis, again, thank you. Oh, Luis saw the 666 in the chat. Thank you. And $10 for the 1,000. That's great. Yeah, maybe that's the new thing. Maybe. I don't know.
You can't sue.
Because you're a
If you want to straighten out the press, give us the right to.
And what the fuck are you going to sue about? Honestly, it's this like threat to sue is all he's got, because he would have to do discovery and they would get discovery and then they'd go, oh yeah, we have even more information. Then you would have a situation where the news would simply take on your lawsuit and you could sue them for a lot of money, but then through their discovery motions, they would get information enough to write 50 articles about you, more than likely, especially if you're as dirty as he is. I mean, even beyond the bloviating bullshit of this whole thing, it's tactically moronic.
Give people the right to sue the press where it's meaningful, where they have to pay a big penalty.
Yeah, they have to wear a sign around their neck that says naughty and walk around.
Get caught, because they're caught all the time. You have to be able to do something about it.
I agree. And I want to.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Press is enemy of the people. Absolutely. Free democracy. Sure.
In terms of talking about this corruption, by the way, name that comes to mind in the news recently is Julian Assange. You know, he was exposing this corruption early on. He's had his life ruined because of it. It's a really sad story.
How's this? What do you think his answer is going to be on this one? I've heard very big things about him, and yet there might be some things, and some people think some things, and then I think the other thing.
Snowden. I mean, think about that bravery. For me, I was quite young when that was going on. But I mean, the idea.
You still are.
Saying, hey, whistleblowing, actually, we've got some corruption going on. They're not being honest with the American people.
Bullshit. You want to honor somebody? Honor a reality winner or Chelsea Handler. Listen to me. Chelsea Manning, not Chelsea Handler. This is what happens when I talk and read the chat at the same time.
You could have had a chance to pardon these individuals. Why?
Why didn't you do it? Why the fuck didn't you? You pardoned Steve Bannon and did you give your son a pocket pardon? But fuck these guys. What was it? Why didn't you do that? Oh, she's putting him on the spot though. This is good.
Decide not to in that moment.
You have two sides of it. In one case, you have like sort of a spy deal going on, and in another,
sort of a spy deal going on. I'm sorry. I might have to play this at half speed because all this technical mumbo jumbo.
You have somebody that's exposing real corruption.
Right.
I feel a little bit, I won't say which one, but I feel a little bit more strongly about one than the other.
Right.
And you probably understand.
Why not? Fucking say it. Which one? Which one do you feel more strongly about? Who gives a fuck? And by the way, to anybody who thinks that I like Trump because he speaks from the hip and he talks just like you and me, and he's complete, you know, all these other people are just politicians, but I give you Exhibit Z-1746. Fucking pick one and explain yourself. The truth is, he doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about, and he doesn't know the difference between any of them because he didn't bother to look. He doesn't care. They are talking points during parts of the campaign, in one ear, out the fucking other. Don't give me any of this shit about I liked him because he's not a politician. That's politician. That's what that is. That's supposedly everything you fuckers hate when a politician does that.
Mm-hmm. But
What were their names again? I don't remember. I really wasn't paying that much attention during the 4 fucking years I was president.
Could have done it, but I will say you have people on both sides of that.
Look at the arms crossed. What kind of body language are we seeing here? What a bunch of shit.
Good people on both sides, and you have some bad people.
I can't. When in doubt, break glass. There's some good people on both sides and some bad people on both sides, and I have to poo, so can we take a break?
One than the other.
Right.
Watch this.
And you probably understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But
No, she doesn't. She's pretending to. She wants an answer. You don't know what the fuck she's talking about.
I could have done it, but I will.
That's amazing. I could have done it, but I didn't wanna. You know what I mean? It made me feel icky poo poo. I meant reading. They kept giving me all the Assange stuff was on paper. I was like, give me a video. And he was like, no. And I was like, I don't want to read it. But I can eat your asparagus,
you have people
prick.
on both sides of that issue. Good people on both sides. And you have some bad people on one side.
Well, then side with the good people on the side with no bad people. Flip a fucking coin. What is that?
I decided to let that one ride, let the courts work it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let it ride. Just let it ride. I would just let it ride. You know, I figured I'd pick it up in my, like a putt. I get a mulligan on my next round.
I guess the courts are actually doing that.
Yeah, these are big decisions.
Yeah. In a certain
Yeah, that you didn't fucking make. That's the point.
way, you know, you have a country and there was some spying things and there were some bad things released that really set us back and really hurt us with what they did. You understand that. But at the same time, in many cases, what they did, these are the same people that came after me so viciously and dishonestly. Yeah. So, you know.
That's why.
What the fuck are you talking about? If the person did something wrong, then fuck them, they did something wrong. If the press pointed out that they did something wrong, but they also pointed out that you did something wrong, and you think, well, shit, I got to protect him because if they're ever right, then people might think they're right about me too. So I've got to, I got to not do anything about any of that. Fucking hell. What a bunch of gibberish. No, Trump is not wearing white socks. That's the reflection of the floor behind him. He looks like he's wearing it. Yeah, if you squint, it looks like he's wearing Marjorie Taylor Greene's shoes when she was laying down the bong bomb.
Hey,
the pipe
so
bomb.
I say, come
if
on,
I'm in your circumstance, I'm going, you know what?
Yeah, well, you can I could have gone, I was very close to going the other way.
Yeah, I think you were too nice.
I was very close to going the other way. I think you were too nice. It just let me be clear about something. There is no fucking way this dumbass is running in 4 years. And all of the conversation about Biden not being able to put a sentence together and blah, blah, blah is ground cover for this blathering bullshit. Listen to this.
I might have been too
Thanks,
nice.
Might have been a
Frolier.
little too nice.
I've been known for being very nice.
And
No, you're not. Ask Michael Cohen. He did time to protect you.
and loyal to people that have not always been loyal to you.
Very loyal.
Oh.
Most have. You know, we don't read about them. We had a great administration, but
Yes, we don't read about the people who've been loyal, largely because they're currently under indictment. People don't tend to comment on ongoing cases.
some people in that didn't do the job. They just didn't do it. And I guess maybe on purpose they didn't do it. You know, it's one of those things. You put people in. Now I know everybody in Washington. I know the good. I know the bad. I know the ugly. But I had some people that I wouldn't have put
Lee Van Cleef was the bad. I just for the record.
in retrospect, but I had mostly great people. We had great people. We did a lot. We rebuilt the military, largest tax cuts in history, largest.
Not even true. Just flatly not true. Not the largest tax cut in history. Period. End of story. Like, not even close.
Regulation cuts in history, regulatory.
No, the the Obama administration was cutting regulations. They were doing 2-for-1, and he was there for 8 years. He got a lot more done.
We did a lot of things,
And you
but
did it under fire.
I did it.
at all times.
It's funny, and I've been using.
So under fire all the time. I mean, mostly also time to golf more than any other president in history. Under fire, golfing under fire has got to be rough. But that's probably why we spent as a country 346 plus years of presidential salary just taking him on golfing trips. But he didn't take his salary because he's a rich guy.
Expressed it a little bit lately. I said I had two jobs: to run the country and to survive, because
You gotta survive. Survive.
I was under fire. No prep from the day I came down the escalator with.
No president has been under fire. Not since Kennedy and Lincoln has a president been under fire. Garfield. Not since George Washington has someone literally been under fire. All right.
I came down that.
Nixon, Iran-Contra. Anyway, but Benghazi
Later,
and 9/11 occurring.
I was under investigation from the day I came. Never in my life was I. Every single aspect, everything I ever did.
Well, yeah, asshole, you were running to be president of the United States. They're gonna give you a once-over.
For years, a friend of mine said, you have to be the most honest person in the world to have survived that. If they catch a comma, if they catch a misspelling word, they'll give you things, and they don't do it with.
They'll give you things. It's like Christmas all the time. Just, I found a comma. What's that? He gets Park Place.
So they do that with Republicans, but me was the ultimate example. So number one, I wanted to run the country properly, and we did. You didn't see Taiwan. You didn't see Ukraine. You
saw, 500,000 dead Americans, and you wanting to leave a cruise ship with 64 Americans on it, floating off the coast of San Francisco because you didn't want to fuck up your 17 case number last year. And of course, the largest sale of beef, corn, and soybeans to China in America's history, largely because it was 4 months of backed up stuff because of COVID that you sold them while Americans were in food lines.
all of these problems that are happening that is so embarrassing. The pullout of Afghanistan was the.
Is the most embarrassing? Is he going to say, he'll say worse, but the most embarrassing? You think he'll say embarrassing?
And by the way, I was all for getting out. I'm the one that brought it down to 2,500 soldiers, actually 2,000 soldiers, and they would never have even touched us.
But I think the frustration on the Republican side, and this is why I said I want to talk a lot about Republican frustrations, is that we see the corruption, right? It doesn't seem like anybody ever pays for the corruption. Yeah. And right now we're seeing corruption live.
Yeah, I think a bunch of us have that problem with people in Trump's administration not, facing justice quickly enough. I think it's a shared pain, isn't it?
In terms of big pharma, which is a huge topic on the minds of mothers, especially. You're seeing what's happening at these school board meetings. Where do you stand on these vaccine mandates?
Big pharma and school. Okay, because vaccine mandates. So this is a question of big pharma and corruption and colloidal silver. Right.
Obviously, I know that you are pro-vaccine. Obviously, you did everything you could to get this vaccine out. I know
It
where
was
you
one
stand
of
on
the
the vaccine.
greatest achievements. We did it in less than 9 months, and
to be able to do that.
Yeah,
but now it's taken a twist, right? It's gotten now.
No, it hasn't. What the fuck is the point of having a vaccine in a mass pandemic if half the fucking country won't take it and they're all his voters? How do you take credit for fucking up that badly? You do the baseline required, which is you're in the middle of a pandemic. We are the United States. We have the biggest economy in the world and the largest, most coordinated medical defense in the entire world. And to the point where the Army is coming up with their own COVID vaccine that's supposed to cover all coronaviruses, all versions of COVID. And you get that started because you fucking got to. And the only people who are fighting about this bullshit, but for a couple of straggler Marianne Williamson and Robert F. Kennedy hippies, are all Republicans, and they're all fucking dying.
And from this is a good thing and
Sorry,
people
Karen,
should have this option to military men, you're going to have to resign because you.
Yeah, because you swore an oath and you can't carry an infectious disease onto the battlefield, fucko. Don't join the military. You give your body over to the country. That's part of the beauty of the service, dum-dum. That's why we respect people who join the military, because they're willing to die for this country.
Not getting this vaccine. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I stand on forget about the mandates that people have to have their freedom, but at the same time, the vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind.
And why won't your people take it?
Had in 1917, remember the Spanish?
Every fucking time. 1918, dickhead.
Killed perhaps 100 million people. Actually, it ended the First World War because the soldiers were so. A lot of people don't know that. The soldiers got so sick. It was a terrible thing. There were no vaccines. There was no anything. I came up with a vaccine, with 3 vaccines.
Yeah, Czechoslovakia, blah, blah, blah. It was.
All are very, very good. Came up with 3 of them in less than 9 months. It was supposed to take 5 to 12 years.
I love how they were like 3 years. 3 years. It's going to take 3 years. Now it's 5 to 12 years, probably 12, maybe 15.
More people have died under COVID this year, by the way, under Joe Biden, than.
Well, no, because we're counting the real numbers. See, we're not downplaying our numbers. Now, who, voter for voter, last year, all the people who died, it's because there was no vaccine to get. This year, the people who are dying can get the vaccine, choose not to. Whose fault is that? If you're going to lay blame someplace, and you're going to give him credit for coming up with the vaccines, you also have to tag him with, you're the primary reason, I guess, why these folks won't get vaccinated.
And more people took the vaccine this year, so people are questioning how.
Well, no, the vaccine worked, but some people aren't taking it. The ones that get very sick and go to the hospital are the ones that don't take the vaccine. But it's still their choice. And if you take the vaccine...
Yeah, it's their choice to clog up the hospitals so that if a school bus accident happens and children need gurneys and ICU and to be intubated, fuck them. I'm sorry, all of our rooms are taken up with guys in MAGA hats who have to be turned every 3 days.
Protected. Look, the results of the vaccine are very good. And if you do get it, it's a very minor form. People aren't dying when they take the vaccine.
What about the masking of children? That's a big one for moms.
What about the masking of children?
Terrible thing. I think it's a terrible thing.
That flies in the face of science. The kids have a virtual 0% chance of dying of COVID, and yet they're insisting on.
And yet Omicron was spreading faster through children than any other form, and in the beginning of it, they didn't know whether it would be more virulent and more dangerous than the others. So precautions being taken, because what if the 1-2 punch of this whole fucking thing is Alpha, Delta, Omicron, and the Omicron kills the fucking kids right as we're getting back. Masks are a small price to pay for the period we've gone through to get kids back in school and stay there. Jesus.
Vaccine mandates. I mean, I'm sorry, on these masking mandates, and now even the vaccine mandates for small children.
Right.
And what's going on there?
Every kid who goes to public school has a vaccine mandate. I had to get a whooping cough vaccine just so I could volunteer at my kids' preschool.
What's happening is you look at the masks where Fauci and a lot of other people said masks don't mean anything. All of a sudden, you become.
No, there was not enough science to tell you that they didn't believe that they would block the particles are so small they could get through the masks unless you had a good N95 mask, and any other thing isn't really going to help. And plus, they'll go around the sides and yada yada. On the science versus real world application, scientifically speaking, if you put a mask on a dummy's head and you aim a spritzer at it with the particles the same size and you send it at it, then a certain amount will get through the mask. The difference was, and what they really discovered in June of last year, was that the volume of germs you got when you were exposed was meaningful to its impact on your body as well. So wearing a mask made you exposed to less of the germ, less of the virus. And there were dozens of studies all over the world that answered the question because it was relatively unexplored. P.S. The reason your surgeon wears a mask in surgery is so he doesn't spit in your fucking wounds. It isn't about going this way, it's about going that way. And in an infectious disease, when some people or majority of people are asymptomatic, expressing it out is a meaningful aspect as well that you have to deal with.
Radical masker. I don't like to see the kids with the masks on. They're sitting in school. They have a hard enough time sitting in school.
It's like China. I've been to China.
Well, and yet China's education.
It's like China. I've been to China. I wonder what he's going to say about China's education system. Is he going to flatter them? Let's see.
I don't like to see the kids with the masks on. They're sitting in school. They have a hard enough time sitting in school.
It's like China. I've been to China.
Well, and yet China's education system's a hell of a lot better than ours. You know what?
No, it isn't. The fuck are you talking about? Culturally, Chinese people and Chinese families especially are more focused on studying or whatever, but the school system itself is just more brutal. And it ain't free. The United States government pays for more public school for children than the Chinese government does. That's allegedly communist. Look it up.
They're rated number 2 or 3, and we're rated number 44.
But masking children.
Yeah, but also bullshit.
No, it's bad.
The way it looks, right? It doesn't look like a free country.
The way it looks, it doesn't look like a free country. Are you out of your fucking mind? Yeah, you see, Candace, in a free country, people want to live. People who don't give a shit if they die or not, don't wear a mask in a situation like this. If they don't have hope or any reason to, if they live in a you gotta die of something country, they don't wear masks. Because what the fuck for? Good Lord.
Against it.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
I'm really glad to hear that. And I think that your supporters will be really glad to hear that because no one really kind of got a clear understanding of, hey,
I think
vaccine.
Yeah. In 4 years, nobody knew what the fuck you were talking about, and they still don't.
Great, but, people should have a right to
I'm
choose.
so proud of what we did with the vaccine, but it shouldn't be mandated, and it just shouldn't be. And,
Well, yeah, but beyond, the next statement is a brave person. A person who actually gives a fuck would say it shouldn't be mandated, but people need to take it. You shouldn't have to be mandated to do something that's good for you, that's obvious on its face is good for you.
There's a lot of people that get it. You had it. Did you get COVID?
No.
You didn't get it?
No. You didn't get it? Really? Way to do your homework.
Like me,
Did you have the vaccine?
No. Doesn't work, and I've been all around the world. I don't know. I think they should study me. They should study me.
They're afraid
doesn't
of
like
you.
me. Yeah.
It's a scary thing, but it's afraid of you.
My husband had it though.
Yeah, but now your husband is now essentially immune. He's got a protection.
They won't even talk
They
about
won't give.
Thank you, Cynthia. And yeah, they do talk about it, but it's not complete immunity. You have better immunity if you've been vaccinated and you've had it than people who've had either. Derp.
They won't give credit to people that had it that aren't going to.
You don't get credit. You don't get credit for having a measles party to fuck up with, especially when a disease. 80% of the people are asymptomatic about it. The problem is you don't know until you get it whether you're rolling that dice, and you're carrying it around to other people.
A second time, it's a very strong form of immunity. So they're crazy.
Well, here's to go. Here, talk about corruption. I mean, you're a businessman. Imagine I make a product.
Citation needed.
And then you mandate that every single person has to buy my product. And this is why people are wondering, is there a little bit of corruption going on here at the top?
Well, this is worse because it's going into your system.
Wait a minute. What the fuck are you smiling about? First of all, I make a product. There's 3 different companies that are making them. The Army is making a separate one. There's European ones. AstraZeneca is not a U.S. company per se. You don't trust big pharma in the United States and the corporate entities that create all this stuff that are only trying to create this for their own profit margin. Then fly to fucking Russia and get the Sputnik vaccine, fucko. What kind of hippie shit is this?
So this isn't just a product. This is a product that's going into your system. And some people don't agree with it, and some people have religious problems, and they have a lot of other things.
They have religious problems. Merry Christmas. War on Christmas is over. Some people have religious problems.
Always respected the religious.
I totally do, and I totally respect somebody saying we don't want to take it. And we have amassed.
Why? Why do you respect them? You apparently came up with the magic cure, so why do you respect them? What's respectable about that? You can respect their right, but they themselves?
We will soon have a massive amount of immunity, including the people that got it. Mm-hmm. But the mandates are killing our economy. If you look about what's going on with...
Hey man, you ain't got to tell me shit. Let me tell you what right now. Hold on. I don't know what the heck's going on at this thing. Look, some people have been asking me, Ficus, they saying, Ficus, are you vaccinated? And I said, hell yeah. Well, I'm moving around here, crazy. I am vaccinated. But I had to go to a special laboratory in Mississippi that bases all their functional vaccines on gator urine. And that's why I'm tough, man. I'm tough. I can fight off anything. I am tougher than woodpecker lips. Yeah.
Economy and jobs, where the jobs are so few right now.
Boy, there are so few jobs, and they still can't find people to fill them. Isn't that weird? 4 point some odd unemployment, and still they got all these so few jobs left open. That's terrible. Way to go, Brandon. All these jobs available to people, and still everybody's working. Next thing you know, we're going to have to bring in immigrants to do some of them jobs.
Numbers are terrible because a lot of people can't go to work. They don't want to go to work. They can't because...
That's right. They can't go to work because they got an outstanding warrant. I mean, I hear.
People won't take them because of the mandate. No, the mandate's bad for a lot of...
Yeah, I don't like mandates, okay? If I'm going to go on a date, she better be a hot piece of tamale. My date's pronouns are shit. Let me tell you what.
Terry, I mean, can you imagine where these are great individuals that we want defending us, and you're leaving. We should never. I feel like our country is being left defenseless.
It is. We got, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of soldiers, and like 15 of them have left. What are we ever gonna fucking do?
Scary
bad thing. Now it's changing. I'll tell you, I've never seen anything like it. The last week or so, they're saying, all right, we're going to take the mandates off. It's very interesting. because they're losing all of these incredible people. They're just not.
They can't find. Yeah, you lost a bunch of incredible people last year. Mexican children. They're gone. Nobody knows where the fuck they are.
To do the work. And now, you have to understand, I'm a big fan of the vaccine. I'm not going to.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what? You what now? A big fan of the vaccines? How dare you? Why would you do that to it? Why? Big fan of the vaccines? You mean to tell me that on your truck you got a big picture of Fauci and a syringe and a big flag sticking out of the back that says vaccinated? You got a bumper sticker that says boosted? Boosted to the moon! Oh, how dare you! I feel so broken heart. He's a big fan, and what fan means around here, you got to have 5-yard signs that say Fauci on them. Because I'm a Trump fan, and that's to be the equivalent.
That's a great achievement. That's millions and millions of lives I saved. Okay, you know it's right.
You must be exhausted.
Interesting where Biden.
You look exhausted. Maybe that's why you look tired. You do look a little wiped out. I don't want to pick on you, but your gold hue has come off the lily, if you know what I mean, up there on the dome. That's normally a nice yellowish. Maybe it's the color balance. Maybe you got a fresh spray tan. They're trying to make your skin look human. So sometimes they'll tilt it down, takes all the yellow cones out of the thing. That's technical stuff. I used to work at a local TV station. We used to have alligator wrestlings on Wednesday nights.
Anybody that lost that many lives should resign. Well, now he's lost more lives, so it's his statement.
Well, technically, though, they're your supporters. So that's the way it's a coin flip, son.
Sort of an incredible statement.
Speaking of Joe Biden.
Oh, thank you. That's a big beverage I got. And my girlfriend brought me a drink. She wants to give me a big kiss. No, you don't want to give me. She doesn't like my smile anymore. You don't bring me iced tea. You don't bring me kitties. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Love you. She's pretty. You guys should see her when she comes over here. She's a hot tamale, let me tell you what. Oh, buddy. She's got all her teeth and some of mine. It's true. That is a true story. Oh, that's good. That felt really good. Straw went right in. Oh, normally it hurts. It didn't right now. Thank you. She's looking at me like I'm crazy. Like this never happens. Like this is weird. This is nowhere. This is normal. Bye. Love you. She's a sweetheart. She's sorry. She's wanted under the porch. I'm sorry. What were you saying, little lady?
I think has been a gift to you in many ways. I thought, you know what, it was hard for me, and I'm injecting myself here, but to see a good side.
Well, as long as if you're injecting yourself, do not inject yourself with the vaccine. Vaccine, vaccine, vaccine. Please don't take Candace.
I actually think that a lot of people are now awake to a lot of the things that you ran on. That seemed crazy to them in the beginning.
They're seeing that.
Yeah, they were resting on my pillow before, and now not anymore.
Our policies were very good, that's for sure.
And this is the toughest question I could possibly ask you. Tell me one good thing Joe Biden has done in office.
Well, the one good thing is that he showed how bad it is with this kind of a philosophy.
That's right. That's it. It's a good thing that he's finally shown everybody what social communism is, and everybody can see it, and it's rare for with its mask pulled off and its underwear down around its ankles, and it's on one shoe on, walking down a highway with bloodshot eyes. Don't ask me how I know that. But now you can see it for what it truly is, the monster, the beast that lives in the swamp, that crawls out every 9 to 12 years, whenever that old Vermont senator dude decides to run for something or other.
We won the election, but if it was more standard where we actually took office, people would have been criticizing. Why didn't you do this?
If it was more standard. If it was more, I'm sorry. I'm trying to understand what you're saying because I love you, but I'm also bleeding in my brain.
Now, when they look at the border, when they look at Afghanistan, when they look at all the horrors,
and if they look at the border of Afghanistan and they're Iranian, imagine how they feel, or Pakistani, or Uzbekistani. They must be pissed.
So, what's taken place? When they look at inflation, inflation's eating us alive. And
I know. It's eating me alive. Let me tell you, yesterday it took me $300 to fill my truck up with corpses.
The only thing they have going is they have an unbelievable press. The press, no matter what they do, the press, you notice, doesn't talk about Afghanistan. I haven't heard any. We gave $85 billion, lost soldiers, tremendous.
I'm sorry. You had to have said billion, right? Let me back this up.
Is they have an unbelievable press. The press, no matter what they do, the press, you notice, doesn't talk about Afghanistan. I haven't heard any. We gave $85 billion, lost soldiers,
billion, okay.
Tremendously, a large number of very badly wounded soldiers, and all of the other things. Afghanistan, the most embarrassing single day, in my opinion.
What? There you go, and we have it. That's what it was. There we go. That's it. The most embarrassing day. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. That's the worst criticism he can lay on this whole fucking thing is it's embarrassing.
Or weak in our country's history. I don't think we've ever had an embarrassment. The press won't talk about it. They won't talk about it. They won't talk about the election.
Well, apparently, it's not embarrassing enough.
Either. The reason they won't talk about it is because they know they lost. And they don't want to bring it forward. A lot of cancel culture is because of the election. They don't want people talking about the election of 2020 because they lost the election. They know they lost the election. This unselect committee on January.
I call it the unselect committee.
You have an unselect committee of partisan hacks like Adam Schiff, Russia, then it's a scam, and he just goes on to the next one. Found out to be one thing I'll say, John Durham did a good job in that, but I hope he goes a lot further. But he has the unselect committee. Think of it. All of this work, it turns out to be a scam. Our country doesn't talk about greatness anymore. All they want.
Dude, we just passed the biggest infrastructure bill in 3 decades. They just funded the military like $768 billion for next year. China is now not going to overtake our economy. They were supposed to do it in 2024, not till 2030, if ever. They may never do it now. What the fuck are you talking about? We don't talk about greatness anymore, asshole. Just because you fuckers are always yelling, let's go Brandon, and think it's like this massive own. The rest of us are busy actually looking at the country become better.
Catch people doing this, catch people doing that. It's a disgrace what's going on in the United States. They talk about the environment. They talk about nothing else. You know, China's opening up a coal plant. I'm not saying good or bad. A coal plant every week.
One moment, please. Coal plant every week. new coal plant every month or every week. Sorry, new coal plant every week. I mean, they're eating our lunch. Our lunch is being eaten. They're shutting down the entire city of Xi'an. I've been there, by the way. And disinfecting the whole fucking city because they have to. And they're telling everybody to close their windows because the chemicals they're using will kill you. Close your windows. We're spraying the entire city with basically pesticides, hoping for the best. But they're going to eat our lunch. China Evergrande reports progress in resuming home deliveries. Oops. Let's see. Tighter rules, but no ban for offshore listings, right? Because they can't, because the Shanghai sect is overpowering Xi right now. Punished over COVID outbreak that led to Xi'an lockdown. Commerce Ministry calls U.S. Xinjiang ban economic. Oh, look at that. What? Sorry. What are we talking about? Greatness again? Sorry. U.S. Xinjiang ban economic bullying. Yep. So the United States is blocking cotton and other goods from Xinjiang because they are used. Uyghur slave labor is being used. China's Commerce Secretary said on Friday it expressed strong dissatisfaction and firm opposition to a U.S. ban on imports from the Xinjiang region. Tough shit. Stop using slaves.
Allowed to do anything. We have to go by the wind, and the wind isn't powerful enough, and it's intermittent and many other problems.
I think most people understand that they're trying to destroy the country.
It's almost like they're trying to destroy.
Yeah, clearly.
They're trying to destroy the country. That's what we're trying to do. We're just building roads and bridges and creating a smart grid and bringing broadband to the whole fucking country and passing an infrastructure bill that this fucko talked about the entirety of his presidency and could never get passed. But we're finally passing it as Democrats because we're trying to destroy the country. And what fun is it? What fun is destroying it if there's not something to destroy? Who gives a shit if Godzilla's stomping around in a field with King Kong? You want him to smash some electrical stations and some tall high-rises and shit like that,
Well, that actually want to see the destruction of America.
Well, it's hard to believe, but who would think that, right?
I think it's very...
Idiots think that. You, her, idiots. That's who would think that. Morons. Vindictive assholes who are on the losing side, who back the fuck up and are trying to shore up that fuck up so that he can fuck up again.
It's in our faces. They're not hiding anymore. What they're putting in the school systems, getting rid of these great men in the military, men and women in the military.
They're not getting rid of anybody. They're leaving if they won't get vaccinated, which is a violation of their oath.
Hindsight is 2020.
Excuse me. You say that, and I used to hear it. I said,
no
who
way.
would do that? Who would do that? It's so obvious. Who wants to have open borders where jails and prisons of other countries are being...
Oh, God, this one again. Yes, they're dumping the prisoners out of the... And the prisoners are promising not to do any Ted Bundying until they make the U.S. border. They're going to walk all the way across Nicaragua, all the way across Mexico, and then they're going to walk all the way across the U.S. border, and then they'll start criming again. That's a promise? Yes. You promise. Seriously, guys, we're only going to let you out.
Into buses and trains and being sent into our country.
Releasing criminals into the...
Oh, well, maybe the wall needed to be reinforced against the trains that are coming through the border.
They're releasing prisoners. They're releasing murderers, rapists, drug dealers into our...
Yeah, and they're going, okay, you guys, you promise not to do any of that stuff until you get to America, right? Yeah. Come on. I need to believe you. We recognize we threw you in jail because you just couldn't stop criming like this. You couldn't stop all the Ted Bundying all across the country. You were doing it everywhere. I mean, if we threw you in jail, you know you're bad. So, you promise? I guess.
And you say, who would do that? And they know it's happening, and they just let it happen. We built almost 500 miles of wall. Would have taken
which apparently sucks and doesn't work.
4 weeks to finish complete.
Yeah. It was that last 4 weeks. He acts like the wall was like built, and all we had to do would have taken 4 weeks to stand the fucking thing up, and then it would be a wall. Now it's just a ramp, and they're riding motorcycles over it.
It's doing the job anyway because it's tiny sections. But you know what? Who would
Is it doing the job? Because apparently it's never been worse. I blame the wall.
They don't want to finish the wall. Who would believe that? But
Well, because parts of where you were building it is in untraversable places or on private land.
is being released into our country, and you talk about masks, you talk about mandates, you talk about all this stuff. You come through the southern border, you have no problem. And tremendous.
Well, no, you have a problem. If you're caught, you'll just be expelled because of of whatever Section 42 or whatever it is, where they have to kick you out because of health reasons. You don't even get your day in court. You just get expelled.
Disease is coming through, long beyond COVID, coming through our southern border.
Long beyond COVID. By the way, he means AIDS.
They don't want to do anything about it. And how often do you see the mainstream or the lane?
They keep in mind, they don't want to do anything about it. Nobody wants to do anything about people with AIDS crossing the southern border. It's just part of the plan. This doesn't strike anybody as just baseline lunacy.
Media talk about it. You never see it.
Well,
they don't talk about the.
Well, no, because there's no plan. What?
They don't talk
anymore,
about.
so I wouldn't even call
Well, a
it.
lot of them aren't watching.
Yeah, nobody's watching it. I wouldn't even call it mainstream.
That's
I mean, the
true.
views are really low right
How
now.
about lamestream?
Yeah, we could send it.
I call it lamestream. I thought that up. I got that from some chick. I don't know. She ran a few years ago, whatever. Nobody cares. I mean, she had a 70% approval rating in the Republican Party, but a 20% electability rating because chicks, am I right?
Or a parlor right now, and we could get more views in 5 seconds, so I don't even call them mainstream. But I do want to ask you.
Yes, you're the mainstream media. Yes, that's how it works nowadays. I'm part of the lamestream media, but the more so out of kind of a sense of heritage.
It's 2020. Anything that looking back you think, you know what, I got that one wrong, or I wish I had this knowledge and I could have done something different, you know? It's
if only I had known that the only people who wouldn't want to get the vaccine are the very people I need to vote for me next time. Don't!
It's easy, obviously. It's hard.
Always. By the way, always in any business,
Hindsight.
no matter what you do, no matter what your success, you always would do certain things a little bit differently or different.
Well, speak for yourself.
The biggest thing, look, we had tremendous success. The border was the strongest it's ever been. The economy was the best in history.
Yeah, and then you left and it stopped working.
I did it twice. I had to do it after. I had to rebuild it after our friends from China either sent.
Oh boy. We're going with he's going with it was weaponized. He's going with that one. Hold on.
Biggest thing, look, we had tremendous success. The border was the strongest it's ever been. The economy was the best in history. And I did it twice. I had to do it after. I had to rebuild it after our friends from China
It's better now.
either sent us or it came in from China. And they should pay reparations, by the way. They should pay. Even they can't afford to pay the world because it's probably $60 trillion the damage they've caused. But they should pay reparations. They should not be allowed to get away with this. And people don't talk about that anymore either. But I would say the big thing would be certain people I would have used differently. I would have put different people in certain positions. If I had a choice, I don't have to go specifically, but I could give you names
You could.
at a later date. But there'd be people.
At a later date. Why? You're on the air. Say it. Again, what the fuck is with this whole, like, he's not a politician. He just speaks, well, he just says it. He's not afraid to call people out. What the fuck are you talking about? Barr? Tillerson? Who the fuck? Say it. Who cares? Jeff Sessions? Right? Why is he so coy about this bullshit now? Other than the fact that he can't remember. That's right. That's right, Kath. He cannot remember their fucking names. I'll give you their names later. I don't remember who they were because I have shit for brains. That's why.
I had great people too, rebuilding them.
Yeah, Yeah, rebuilding the military, those people who did that.
All the things I did. We have great generals, but not the television generals. There were certain people that I would not have put in. I would have put somebody else in. But at the time, I had spent
Why didn't you then? Again, what the fuck was this all about? The whole thing was an outsider, and he knows all the best people. Remember that? He knew all the best people.
days of my life in Washington, D.C., but now I know it better than anybody, and I know the good. I know we have some great people, and I would say probably more than anything else, I would have made put certain people into positions that I didn't give them. I took somebody, put them in a position.
Sure, absolutely. This makes total sense. Yes, you guys followed that, right?
Once
you put
it
them in a
was
position
reluctantly aroused. It was hard to get it aroused, and it is hard to get it aroused, but we got it aroused.
Fucking hell! Listen to this nonsense.
There'd be people. I had great people too. Rebuilding the military, all the things I did. We have great generals, but not the television generals. There were certain people that I would not have put in. I would have put somebody else in. But at the time, I had spent 17 days of my life in Washington, D.C., but now I know it better than anybody, and I know the good. I know we have some great people, and I would say probably more than anything else, I would have made put certain people into positions that I didn't give them. I took somebody, put them in a position, and I didn't like the job they did.
I think definitely.
Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean? What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, no, guys, he sounds totally sane. Yeah.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
There's no, what could you possibly? There's no
Free health care for illegal. Look.
His brain's getting way better. Yeah. All right. Sorry, one more.
I had to beat off.
And by the way, welcome trolls, by the way. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. You guys spread the show more than any other person in the chat. It's you're doing the yeoman's work here. We appreciate it. If it's just us and the regular crowd that's in here, the algorithm will just assume that folks that like my show will like other shows or vice versa. And so it'll put it into a feed of people who pretty much seen my show or something. So they probably already subscribe. Whereas when you show up, especially if you type something into the chat, that tells the algorithm, oh my God, this guy's engaging even across different desires. And I start showing up in a little line on YouTube, for example, that says viewers who watch this also watch this. So whatever you watch, I show up in the you also watch this line. And you share my show even if you don't want to. It's fantastic.
And perhaps some snakes around you as well.
We had some snakes, yeah. And look, you always do.
Do the snake. Tell the snakes. She wants you to do the snake story. Yeah, you knew I was a snake when I came down the escalator, or however the fuck it goes.
What business, whether it's politics or anything else, you always do. I had some very loyal people. I had some very disloyal people, very bad people.
I can't name any of them. I don't remember anybody. I don't know what the fuck.
But, and I think this is true with companies. If you're running a big company, sometimes you make a decision to put somebody there, and it always happens. It's rare that you go through, a long period of time and everybody's just perfect.
Yeah, let's just say you're running a casino in Atlantic City, and all the other casinos are profitable and are last for a very long time. And you set one up, and you take the people personally, and you put them in charge. And your dad buys a bunch of chips at the casino and never cashes them in. It's kind of an under-the-table loan to you to keep it afloat. And then it turns out that wasn't enough to keep the fucking place afloat. It happens. It just happens to some people. And this is this is the reality. Bullshit. Ask him some tough questions, you dizzy broad.
But I know people that would have done great jobs in certain...
You don't know shit. You can't even name the people who did work for you. You're going to bring up some people you didn't. Who were they? 4 years. 4 fucking years you could have brought them in, goddammit, and you didn't bring any of them. Don't tell me you know all the best people now. You didn't meet them while you were there and you're too busy fucking golfing? What the fuck? What are you talking about? It's time for a cupcake interview, sweetheart. Bunch of assholes. But look, if you know the people, bring the people in. What are you waiting for? What the fuck? What are you gonna? I'll do it next time I win the presidency. You have any idea how narrow that bottleneck is in life, you dipshit? Fucking, I'll hang out.
And I didn't like the jobs that certain people did. And usually I fired them. And every time...
Yeah. Well, guess what, asshole? We didn't like the job you did, and we fired you. You're fired. Get the fuck out of here. Stop telling me next time you would have done it better than the last time you did it when you got to do it. You were the fucking president of the United States. I don't know anybody. I was only here 17 days. 17 days and 4 fucking years. Year 3, you could have put the whole thing back together. Why don't you get us out of Afghanistan on day 4, you bastard?
Fire somebody, it's a big deal. But usually I fired them. Overall, we had great people.
No, you didn't fire anybody. You never fired anybody in your whole fucking life because they all had goods on you, you bastard. You didn't fire people on The Apprentice. The producers did. It was in the teleprompter, you bastard.
Well, I know that we don't have much time left, so I'm going to toss you a fun one.
Thank God. Wrap it up, Blondie.
Alec Baldwin, is he going to get arrested?
What? Alec Baldwin? The fuck? Alec Baldwin didn't fuck up the COVID response, you dizzy dame.
Now, look, he's been trouble from day one. He didn't me. He did the...
He didn't me? He did. Speak English, you chump. He's only spoken English for 17 days and 4 years. So you got to cut him some slack. Like a dipshit, this dude. He didn't like his impersonation of you, and all of a sudden you got something to say about an accident on a fucking set.
But usually I fired them. Overall, we had great people.
Yeah. Well, I know that we don't have much time left, so I'm going to toss you a fun one. Alec Baldwin, is he going to get arrested?
I don't know. Look,
hold on. Wait. Wait. A fun one? A woman died, you monster. What the fuck is wrong with you? A fun one? She bled to death on the set. Another person was shot by the bullet that went through her. What the fuck is wrong with you? A fun one? Eat shit, you loon.
From day one, he didn't me. He did the imitation of me for years. I thought he was terrible.
Imitate him.
Well, no, I thought it was just, that wouldn't be hard. I thought he...
Do it. Let me see your Alec Baldwin impression. Yeah, here's mine. You want to see mine? Here it goes. You know, rich people, what puts you off? Jews and taxes. It puts you in an emergency and you bloom. It's from The Edge, and it's damn good, so kiss my ass. It was a solid Alec Baldwin.
Did terrible. I thought he was terrible at it.
Of course you did, you thin-skinned bastard.
Other people that do much better, but he's always trouble.
He's always trouble. You know what I'm having trouble with? The sibilance from you slurping. Jesus. I haven't heard that much slurping since I was left on a buffet at Richard Simmons' house.
I mean, he takes a gun, he said he didn't pull the trigger, and then the experts get on and say it's not possible that particular gun it doesn't work that way. In other words, it can't happen.
Is that what happened? Is that you? By the way, he knows all the details about this, but the other stuff he's talking about, I saw a thing, and I don't want to mention other stuff because I don't really know about his own fucking presidency.
That it works where you don't pull the trigger and it just happens to go off. Okay,
No, not okay. What the fuck are you talking about?
It was a very good interview for him. I just say this: he's always trouble. He goes out to talk to the press. Nobody gets treated worse than me by the press, and I'm very hostile to them likewise. But I don't end up in fistfights with him on the street. I mean, there's something wrong. I think he's...
Well, because you'd lose. You'd lose. I mean, I got $15 on her if this breaks out. Seriously, she's just going to go for the vase, smash it upside your fucking head, give you a diaper wedgie, and you're just going to squirm on the floor wheezing. It's not going to be hard. She won't even have to whip out any like Black Widow moves.
Casey, just something crazy. And he pointed the gun. He still pointed the gun at this woman.
He knows more about this than January 6th.
And it happened to go off. And she was.
Why are we listening to this asshole talk about this? Honest to God. Why is this? How is this? I would like to remind everyone that earlier in this conversation, he was making the case that people should be able to sue the press for speaking lies about them or circumstance and making them look bad, and that they should have better laws about libel and slander. Meanwhile, these two fucking people are basically accusing Alec Baldwin of murder on her Daily Wire show.
And an actor, so it's not like at a scene where it went on during a scene. He just pointed a gun at her, and it went off. Did he do it on purpose? I don't know. I mean, you tell me.
No, he fucking did not. What? No one even has. Why would you? Good Lord.
Stable. He definitely is not
He's
stable.
definitely not a stable person. He's a nut job, actually.
I actually totally agree with that assessment. I can't thank you enough.
That's so great. I totally agree with that assessment that Alec Baldwin is a nut job. But I hate you for fucking up my whole interview by saying people should take the vaccine. And I want to thank you for inviting me.
I want to say to people back home.
Inside this wedding cake that we're both in.
Each time that I've interviewed President Trump, they have never told me that I am not allowed to ask him anything. He is completely unscrupulous.
Why are you talking past him to us? Why don't you just say, every time I've interviewed President Trump, it has never been a question I have not been allowed to ask you, and I want to thank you. Like, be a fucking person.
One of the things that fascinates me.
Why do you get to have a former president as your over-the-shoulder goodbye?
They never say, don't go here, don't go there. What you see is exactly what you get. Not exactly like Joe Biden checking, call on this guy.
Just to interrupt your ending.
From the Washington Post.
That's right. Let's see.
Lisa.
And then here's the worst part, though. They ask him the question, then he reads the answer from a teleprompter. I said, where did this stuff come from?
Thank you, Lisa. I think that it's Psalm. I mean, it's crazy.
It's a strange deal.
It's a strange deal.
I think that it's what? Psalm?
Psalm. I mean, it's crazy.
It's a strange deal.
It's a strange deal. And people see it's exactly what you get. Not exactly like Joe Biden checking, call on this guy.
Just to interrupt your ending.
From the Washington Post.
That's right. Let's see.
Lisa.
And then here's the worst part, though. They ask him the question, then he reads the answer from a teleprompter. I said, where did this stuff come from?
Thank you, Lisa. I think that it's Psalm. I mean, it's crazy.
It's a strange deal.
It's a strange deal, and people needed to see it. And so I honestly say, in a weird way, I thank God for President Joe Biden, because the rest of America was asleep, and I think they're awake, and I'm inspired to see.
Yeah, we're awake and going back to our job. I mean, a lot of us just slept through a lot of the pandemic. I mean, I didn't. I was here every day working for you guys. Hi, how are you?
Fathers getting involved, showing up, and I think this is going to be a very different
We have
country
tremendous
in a good
support
way.
now. I have more support now than I did before the election, and we had a lot of support.
The problem is a lot of those supporters are dead. Hold on, my other earpiece fell out.
But it's so bad. Our country has never been so embarrassed or disgraced. We've never had a country.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
Like this. And when he does, in particular, Afghanistan, to a large extent the borders, but when he does that horrible withdrawal, again, we want to withdraw, but with dignity.
Dude, you already covered this. She ended the interview. What the fuck are you talking about? And we're out. We are out of Afghanistan. We're fucking out. It's done.
In strength. When Putin and Xi, President Xi of China, and Kim Jong-un of North Korea, when they're watching, and Iran, when they're watching what happened during that short period of time, they lost respect for our country.
What are you talking about? They had no respect for our country. They viewed you as a sap. Jesus
They're
Christ.
all at the top of their game.
It's
And we have
over.
a leader
Go home.
that doesn't have a clue. It's a very bad time for our
And
country.
we've lost the moral.
The moral center. All right. Is there walk-off music? Can we get the Academy Awards Orchestra?
High ground.
We
with these
certainly
people.
have.
I
We
watched the
certainly
interview.
have. You're right.
Putin sat down.
Wait, what the fuck? What do you mean we've lost the high ground? We just banned Cotton from Xinjiang, something he could have done. Well, it's not like we haven't known about what's been going on in the Uyghur concentration camps in China for years now, especially the last 2, right? 2.5. That's when it really started coming into the news. He could have done that. Did he? No.
And they were trying to say you're a bad guy. And he said, you've locked up people that are rotting in prison because of January 6th. And I said, this is bad.
What the fuck are you talking about? They're rotting in prison. Most of the people have been released. The only ones that can't get released are people who have told the judge they will spill more blood once they get out. And the judge is like, all right, deny bail. They're all given representation. They've all got, they all got Miranda rights. What the fuck is he talking about? How is this all of a sudden the DC jail is Gitmo now?
That's right.
We've lost the moral high ground because of what this Department of Justice is doing.
And you haven't heard the beginning. They are now, every time we say anything, and they go big league. They go big league on what they do. And they just look at us.
What? Again, gibberish. What in the world? What is this? What is this? Trump fans, do we have a translator here? We say anything and they go big league. They just go big league.
Said, you've locked up people that are rotting in prison because of January 6th. And I said, this is bad.
That's right.
We've lost the moral high ground because of what this Department of Justice is doing.
And you haven't heard the beginning. They are now, every time we say anything, and they go big league. They go big league on what they do. And they just look at us and what about this, and that?
I've never seen it.
And all you can do.
Yeah, it's just great. I mean, you that makes sense, right? Has anybody got their Trump Dakota ring from one of the MAGA boat rallies? The fuck? They just go this, and that. Run that bullshit by me again. Listen to this.
You've locked up people that are rotting in prison because of January 6th. And I said, this is bad.
That's right.
We've lost the moral high ground because of what this Department of Justice is doing.
And you haven't heard the beginning. They are now, every time we say anything, and they go big league. They go big league on what they do. And they just look at us and what about this, and that?
I've never seen it.
And all you can do is sit there and say, well, I guess that's right. Let's get on to the next subject.
You're right. What can we say?
What? What is that? And she's like, yeah, totally. I know. I get it. I mean, most people won't get it, but I get it. I get you. I get you in a way that other people don't get you. I guess we'll just move on to the next subject.
Tough stuff. Thank you very much.
Holy God. Thank you, Diana. Oh my God, what kind of creep music is this?
All right, guys, that was amazing. It really was such a wonderful.
What? Hold on. What was the creepy music right as he gets up? Look at the slow-mo of him standing.
All right, guys, that was amazing. It really was such a wonderful opportunity for me to sit down and have this dialogue with President Trump. We are grateful to him and his entire team. It is so important that we continue to have.
Yeah, his entire team that helped him put together such a fine response to all of my questions.
These sorts of dialogues that are unfiltered and dialogues that are not prompted by
Dialogues, yes.
To make somebody look bad or to look good. Just the honest answers, which is something that I believe Americans deserve in this time.
Yeah, we didn't intentionally want to make him look bad. He just does. That's all you can do. I mean, honestly.
And propaganda. I hope it's something that you feel that I always bring you guys on this show. And as usual, I'm going
Yeah, no, actually you don't.